Welcome to another edition of Vigorously with me, Val Kleinhands. Very excited to have the lovely Zahna in the building today. She is just, first off, you're adorable. Second off, we love the heavy vibes that come from you constantly. How are you?
I'm doing well, Val. I know that you interviewed my husband, so I'm wearing his denim
Yes!
shirt right now. And
Yes!
then you logged on, and I saw your orange Burst Sun guitar, so we're vibing already. We got the orange and red going on. It's great.
We are on the same wavelength. Let me give you a little bit of tea too. When I did interview your husband a year ago, when his last album came out, it was celebrating that. When I interviewed him, I was like, dude, I know we're supposed to talk, but can we talk about your wife's closet? And can we talk about how we put a fit together? Like, I mean, because I loved it. And he was like, oh, if you want to talk to her about that, she will talk fits with you all day. It was pretty much
He
what he
knows
said.
nothing about my closet. Actually, funny enough, when we first moved into this place, there was our master bedroom was it was decently big, but I had to take the entire master closet, and I told him you can't have any of this. I'm sorry, like it won't. Nothing of yours is gonna fit in here, so I had to get him an exterior closet, cabinet for all his stuff because I was like, I'm taking the whole thing, dude. He didn't
I
care.
know. I took two closets and the dresser, and then he gets
Yeah.
one closet. That's exactly how it went down. We moved this summer too, and that's exactly what happened. And he was like,
Yeah.
"You got too many clothes." I'm like, do I?
No,
Or
I don't. That's
okay.
exactly. Yeah, we have four drawers under our bed too that are all mine as well. He's got like two in the drawer of the dresser. All the rest are mine as well. So he's making do with just fine. He don't care. He don't even realize sometimes when I put clean clothes up for him, he's like, oh, it just appears for him. You know how men are.
Yeah. Yeah, you do it and the job gets done. It's always the ladies that do it. We make sure that we make sure our men are taken care of. It is an act of love. It is absolutely an
Yes.
act of love. We want to make
I'm
sure that they're
worried
good.
if he doesn't have me, what's gonna happen
Woo!
to
Baby, if he was left to, okay, is yours like mine? If mine was left to his own devices, we would have probably a six pack on the ground and it would be video games all day. That's what
I
it
don't
would
even
be.
want to know, girl. I mean, this man, I still play video games. He does too, but I'm just like, man, I don't know who would cook for you. I don't know who would cook for you because when I
Did you,
met you,
yeah, did you feed yourself today? That's the question.
and we still hang out with one of his old roommates, and he's like, oh, I see, Patrick, that you found yourself someone else to cook for you still. He's like, that's how you're still getting by. And Pat's like, yep.
Pretty much. That is always how it goes. What, but I want to know, how did you develop your style? I mean, we're giving heavy vibes. We are also giving a little bit of new metal. We're giving color. We're meshing all of it together with everything that you wear. Is that curated? Or is that just natural? Like, how did you develop your
Yeah.
style?
So I just have a weird brain. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing until it's done. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that works. I don't know how I know, but I know when I put it on. And it's funny because, I had sent screenshots, like we just put out a music video for our song Defiler with Brian Head
Mhm.
Welch of Corn. And, I was like, we actually had to reshoot the video a couple times. And the last time I had ordered a whole like outfit, like basically a haul of stuff. And I did a fitting. And when I sent them screenshots of the ones that I they were like, nah, get something else. So in my wisdom, my lady wisdom, I was like, I'm gonna get what I like anyway, because I can just, return it. But trust me, like,
Period.
so I did a fitting, did videos, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we like the other one now, and I'm like, I knew it. So, you gotta just kind of do what you're gonna do sometimes. But as for that, dude, I base Zana on like the most extreme version of myself. If I could just like walk around without being publicly shamed for like wearing, you got Ryuk boots, the huge like demonias and stuff.
Yes.
My pair is actually a little too big, so I can't really perform in them. They're only for shoots, and I still stumble in them. But they wanted me to be a Spice Girl or a Barbie, but the truth is I'm just Midna from Twilight Princess. I'm just a little imp, and I'm just I don't know. The things that inspire me are not what usually people think about. But But I love The Matrix. It is a cornerstone of a lot of my creativity. I saw that movie as a kid. It changed my life. I love the futuristic stuff. I love the Sailor Moon slash space, like anything that's just oddly girly about space. I try to do something like that. And I really like the athletic cyber niche. Like, I don't know if you've seen this picture of like these artists that did like the Avatar Last Airbenders as goth style. They like redrew them, but there's like a picture of Suki and she's got this like athletic, she looks like Adidas, and I was like really harnessing in that like that sporty goth cyber kind of sportiness, because Corn and Brian are affiliated with Adidas and their track suits. So a lot of this video was kind of like the path, the black and white stripe, and it just kind of all came together for the meaning of the song, which was kind of like you're walking the line, you're walking this path, and that has a lot to do with the visuals of the music video. So yeah, that's just kind of this project turned out. Who knows what the next one's gonna look like?
Next one, full Sailor Moon, full Spice Girls.
The truth is, I kind of was wanting to make this one at first like a crazy Lord of the Rings style video, but it didn't. It was too expensive for the budget, so we went the opposite way. We went futuristic. Could
have fooled me. Could have fooled me as far as budget. Seriously, this was a production. Of course I watched the video, and I'm picking out a bunch of different things. Like so many things come to mind. I'm like, there's her husband on the drums. There's Dedham on the drums. Saw that first, and then I was like, okay, we have a lot of reds going on. We have a lot of blues going on, and then I watch you, and I'm like, this woman. Shout out to you for putting out your bubbly nature in a world where metal is supposed to be very stoic and tough. And I'm like, no, we need more of this in our life. Like we really do. Because I'm like, how many times do we see somebody other than like Toki and Metalocalypse, I think, or Deathclock? Like that's the only other figure in metal, for lack of a better term, that I could see being their true, bubbly, fun nature, and I see a little bit of that in you, and I love it.
Yeah, like I said, we did a couple reshoots. The Star Room scenes were just, I wasn't like super happy with them. I was like coming off a medical emergency, and I had just like took a break from prednisone, which is a steroid that just kind of like fills up your face with fluid. And and then we had to like add more anyway. It was like a kind of a huge deal because you have Brian had a Welch, so it has just the standard has to be up really high. And then I just really, they were asking kind of for more glamorous shots, more close-ups. And so then I was like, well, we're just a white room, so we have to like do something with the outfits. Like it can't just be me in like something lame, or like something I wear every day. But yeah, it ended up being beautiful. I got some criticism. I got some stuff from that too. But it's just, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I've been asking people and they didn't think it was too much, but I'm Mexican. I dance like that, dude. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what else to do. We don't.
I'm doing the cha-cha. Like, I don't know what to do. You wanted glamour shots? Here they are, dude.
They are me mid laughter. No, I get. I'm Italian American, so like get it. We're just as expressive. I get it. But sometimes we surface a little bit too hard, and you're like, why are you pissed off? I'm not. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. It's one or the other, and you will read me before I speak. Like I promise you. I promise you that.
I love it when people actually get more scared of you when you're silent. Like I found out that like if I just hold my tongue for a second and let their words ring in the air, they pretty much immediately recognize they did something wrong. And then they get really scared. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I didn't done anything. I don't know what that's all about, but it's happening on more than one occasion. And my husband knows that if I'm quiet, like something's wrong.
Every husband knows that.
Every
husband knows that about their wife. But I mean, the rest of the world, I mean, maybe they're just used to the bubbly Zahna that is authentic and that is true to you. So they're like, oh, okay, something's up.
Yeah.
If she's not giving that today.
I don't want to use that. I don't like to have to use that stuff, but it's just like, People walk all over you, dude. You can't let that
I
happen.
hear
It's
you.
your band. It's your future. It's your name on the bill. It's you that's being represented by others. Like, unfortunately, that boss has to come out sometimes because at the end of the day, it's you paying the price.
Right.
And so I think that if people, at first I didn't like it because, I wanted people to respect me. And then I would see that, people would get, if I did actually get angry and like start yelling, it was even worse. And so I
Yeah.
was like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's stupid. It's complicated. I'm just another person. I have feelings. But I am pretty emotive, so I think that's what people get nervous about. They're not really sure what to expect because if you do, yeah, it might not be good for you.
No, I feel you on that. I've been in that position before too, particularly when I used to do radio professionally. I mean, and for a woman, I do think it's different. I
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
do. You're in a room with all dudes. Some, not all. Let's be clear about that.
Of
Some of them
course.
have certain expectations. Some of them have an idea in their head of what a woman should and should not do. And then some throw all that out the window and let you do whatever. And they're
Yeah.
fine. And they do genuinely treat you like an equal. You run into both. I mean, you've
Yes.
run into your fair share of challenges, just as any artist in this industry. And of course, anybody coming up, they go through something. So what I wanted to ask was why crossover and why head after everything you've been through? Obviously, you trust him. You say nothing but complimentary things about him. Why him? How did he earn that trust?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, the truth is that Zana was. We were shopping out my Stronger Than Death record that actually I wrote in 2020 and I didn't release till 2023, because I was shopping things out, and we got a few labels looking at us. A couple preliminary meetings, but nothing panned out. And to be honest, it was really heart wrenching at the time. And then I later realized what a blessing in disguise it was to not be picked up by those people because
Mm,
the difference is being a small artist on a big label that no one cares about you. And then having a crossover that is a small label, catering pretty much all their attention on me. Like you definitely want the second scenario, okay? And then all you need is someone like Brian Head Welch that has influence in this community beyond what you can imagine, Now that doesn't equal a success either. It
right.
still takes a lot of like at the end of the day, like you're still you have to sell your own name. But I think that, working with Brian, he was had a lot of the same priorities. He knew that I was a person of faith, that I talked about my faith at shows. He
Mm,
did a lot of the same events that ministries did together. And I knew that just like even before knowing him, just the way he dressed, acted, and talked, it's like just all my friends act that way too. And he understood what I was trying to do.
mm.
And I don't think I would have gotten that attention or that care or that niche, that anywhere else. And I had been on a previous record label, and there's only so much they can do for you within the niche you're in. And I was grateful for that. I did really well in that scene. But it was funny because I actually literally wanted to cross over into secular at some point. And then it's just, oh, here's crossover records. You just can't pretend these things are coincidences.
That's when you look
At
up
some
and go,
point,
"You're funny. You're
there's
funny."
there's too much that's just if I talked about it, I'd just be a crazy person to people. I don't talk about it anymore because they don't need to know all the crazy kooky stuff that happens to me. But I definitely prayed a lot. I at some point you got so disappointed that you were just ready to go into meetings ready to just not trust people.
Mhm.
And you were like, I don't like you, you're giving me something weird. And you don't know that for sure because a lot of the people I initially had those bad reactions for are actually now on my team and like working with me because I was so untrusting, and I was like, even if they say they're going to do something, they might not, you just have to come in with that kind of shrewdness, let's be honest, because this is a very tough business. But I knew I had seen Brian's stuff. I had seen his side events and his projects, and he had seen me like live twice already. And he had already kind of helped me or tried to anonymously. I found out it was him. But he really treated my art like art that was something to be like acknowledged. And I think for so long I was so depressed because like I said, I worked for like 3 years to take that independent album and do it myself, and I felt so overlooked. I felt like I was working 3 jobs for 3 years for nothing because I had no idea who was going to listen to this. It was going to be completely independent. And all that pain and all that grief and all that being alone, to put out that record is actually what led me to Brian in the first place, because I had something to show for myself. And so I really think it was worth it. I think it's a divine partnership. There's just so many reasons I feel that way. And I'm literally, I think, in the best deal possible I could be in. Yeah.
Right.
With the most attention on me from the entire team. Because, you could be the best artist, but if you don't have the right team, if they're not prioritizing you, you miss stuff. You really lose momentum because they're focused on other artists. So I promised myself I'd rather just be independent if that's going to be the deal with a label. And now I have a label that caters so much to me. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, there are some that choose to stay independent for exactly what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
they do okay. But then some decide they want a team, and it's a completely different experience. I mean, what makes your experience unique, I think, is the fact that you and Brian were able to bond. It sounds like, anyway, that you were able to bond through your faith. And
Yeah.
that was a huge part of that mutual trust. You'd agree
Yeah,
with that.
and he had done it. He had been someone in my faith that did exactly what I was trying to do and still was successful in this world and well received for the most part. There's always going to be people that, disagree with your message. But I was like, dude, that's the prime example. That what he's doing is exactly what I want to do. And you just never know that these things are going to transpire the way they do. I really do believe it's only one thing that could have led to all this, because I don't pretend to be the best artist in the world. I'm pretty good, but there's so many talented people out there that, man, like, it makes me mad when they're like, oh, where's all the new legends and rock stars? Oh, they're out here. You guys just don't invest in them. You're not picking them up. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
and it fills your heart with a little bit of callousness as an artist because you've been trying for so long, but you have the truth. Well, I don't know if this is the ultimate truth, but a lot of truths are that someone from the inside has to bring you in. And not in a weird demonic way, like, a lot of people are doing it, but just in the fact that someone has to invest in you. They have to put dollars towards you. And if you're not putting out product that they believe can do well, it's very unlikely you'll find an investor like that. So it's a really hard game. Invest in yourself, though, until that person comes. That's all I can tell people.
No, I feel you on that. And then his trust, and now you have the trust of your team as well. All of that inspires you to take more risks and further your career one step at a time. I think it took balls just to ask him to be on Defiler. Like, if it were me, I'd be like, who am I? How, who am I to ask him this? But you did. And we have his verse. We've got his vocals on it. It's not the first time he's sung, so that part wasn't really shocking. But it was so nice just to see him walk what he preaches. Really, in more ways than one, pun intended. Like he really helping out, artists that he truly wants to nurture. So walk me back to that moment where you bring him to Filer and you say, "I want you on this." How did that go?
Yeah, so it was starting, we were in July of 2024, and we were the second session of writing the songs. We were there to write 3 more songs with Corey Bruneman from San Antonio. And Corey and I have been working for years on and off together, and he and I make some really unique stuff. And I remember just being like, dude, we need a single. We need like a fire radio single. And Kellen's like, okay, I'm sorry, Corey. Kellen's my other producer. Corey's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, this, he had like just started writing, just hammering out a bunch of sections for songs. And I was picking the ones that I really resonated with. And then he made Defiler, and he was like, I love this song. no, I hate it. Never mind. I love it. You know what? I'm going to give it to my band. I'm like, he's like, no, never mind. It's not that good. I'm like, it's a good song, Corey. Give it to me. I want it. Okay. You know, as an artist, you're like, this is trash. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. And I'm like, believe me, it's good. And then I was like, dude, we have to, you know, because we are in that legacy, you know, circle of Korn. Like, let's write something that reminds people of how much they love Korn, because these freaking legends. And then so yeah, we wrote it in mind, hopefully with a feature with him. Now, we still didn't know. We wrote out, we were just like, if it doesn't happen, dude, I'll just sing the part. It's all good. But I remember sending him the demo and email, and I just kept it really short and concise. Over my years of experience, I'm like, don't overtype emails. Just don't. Just ask the dang question and leave it alone. Don't try to commit. You know, they're gonna direct is the best way. And so in my mind, I was like, dude, if he says no, then like I'm gonna be kind of shocked, because this song is pretty freaking good. And also, what was it? I was like, he only helps himself. This is his record label. I wonder his label, this only helps him, you know, help me, push me. And so I remember just sending it over to him. It had no verse yet. I wanted to see if he wanted to write something over it. But he ended up letting me go, like, write the part. He said he liked the instrumental. He's like, let me just see what you write. And I was like, you're gonna let me write it? Oh my gosh.
Pressure.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I would do. Okay. So I remember I was like, I was on a flight. I don't even remember where. Went on the plane, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sit in this flight. I'm going to write this part. And I did it in like 15 minutes. It was actually really, really quick. And I kept looking at it. I was like, is it good? I mean, it only took 15 minutes. Is that supposed to happen? And I just saved it off the flight. I sent it to him. I demoed it out and then sent the melody part, and he loved it. I think we switched like 2 words just to like make it like not so wordy. But he ended up keeping it. It was like the fastest, easiest yes ever. So I was like, dude, that just validates my songwriting so much. Like, I'm so happy that this legend like actually is singing something I wrote. Like, it's just wild. So it couldn't have been greater.
I love that. And I saw that when you were talking with him with the initial sit down, when the announcement came that you were joining Crossover, you talk about producers specifically. I mean, we talked a little bit about producers. You talk about there's a way that they can get something out of your voice, literally.
Yes.
Like there's ways that they can work with you where they get this out of your voice or that out of your voice. What, for the non-musician, can you break that down as to what that means? Like, to me, it sounds like they help you work on your craft, really. So what was happening in the studio vocally that you felt helped you grow?
Sure, yeah. A lot of it, when you're when you're like not really used to recording music, there, you know, and you're kind of a newer singer, like maybe you're just like not as seasoned, you know. You just think about voice in like a very limited way. And a producer is going to help you think about space, okay? Because you're in a dead room. You're like in a closet that completely absorbs sound. So feels very vulnerable, feels very different than a room, than live singing. But that's where the magic happens. So, for example, mostly I'm a voice teacher and a vocal coach, and there is a difference. The coaching helps you visualize how to say a phrase differently. So, like, for example, like, I don't know, use like a Disney song or something, because they're very animated. So if you sing like, you know, like Part of Your World by Aladdin, you know that song, right? You know, you know, the beginning line, maybe an unseasoned singer would just kind of go like, I can show you the world. Okay, very simple. Like, you hit the notes, right? Okay, but the performance is very close. It's very, like, quiet. But the real producer, whoever's teaching the guy how to sing Aladdin, you know, they're going bright, open, emphasize the A and an, and they're going ah or ah and I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, you know, like they're just going to add life to it. So as basically a friggin' teen going in, you have no idea how to you know, the verbiage, the jargon to help you do what the producer's trying to do in your performance. And there's so many tricks. There's so many things. I mean, it's different modes. Like for power singing, you have to do different things. For quiet singing, there are different settings. Or I call them settings, but really they're just like, you know, different breath flow. It's just different enunciation, mental tricks or onset tricks to get you to give the best performance that is exciting, that sells records. Okay, so maybe you don't have the best voice ever, but you're really good at embodying emotions, and people
Mm.
really feel you when you sing because you're like acting a little bit as like a performer. So like the vulnerable songs, I had no idea how to do vulnerable singing, like
What is that?
a whole new world, a thousand things I never, like, you hear all the
Okay.
movement and weight shifting and like the excitement and the breath and the energy of it, but as a teen you're just like reading a paper, a whole
Mm.
new world, and like it's gonna lift your larynx, it's gonna tighten you. So a teacher and a coach knows how to get through the technical parts that, like, let's say you want a certain performance but the singer can't do it because they don't know the
Mhm.
actual anatomy to do it. So that's what I've tried to pride myself on, is because the first session of coaching you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. You can tell me but I can't do it. So over time I just have had this studio producer, but also have strived to become the technical teacher that actually gets you to the point where you can do this stuff. So yeah, that is I self-produced. I had producers, but usually I vocally produce myself in a studio.
Mm.
These last two records, and I'm pretty happy with the performances. And even still, after I tracked in 2024, I got even better in 2025. And then, like, I've been singing the best I've ever sang in 2026, so I'm kind of mad. I wish I would have like been this good back then when I retracked this record. But most people don't realize, most of it's gonna really matter in live settings. So that's what I've been training for like the last 2 years, is actual performance, big performances, to be really consistent live.
Right. Okay. Because we're watching like Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour documentary. What she's literally singing. I saw Outkast do it too. They're literally like singing on the treadmill, like
Yeah.
building up the stamina for a live performance. Is that what that looks like for you too? Is that what we're working on?
I do MetaQuest boxing, virtual boxing in this room
Hey.
actually, with my
Okay.
MetaQuest mask, and so I do train cardiovascular. As for the treadmill thing, I definitely see why they do it. I am not at the point yet where I want to run and sing yet, but marching in place is really good because you're just trying to isolate your support muscles. But if you're, I really recommend like doing some workout before you go play live. It's going to expand your lungs really, really well. So
Mm.
I know that those pros, they are always doing the treadmill runs. That's probably in my future. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I just don't have space for it here, so I just do some boxing, and it works pretty well for me. Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of power in the voice. I can hear it on Defiler too. So,
Yes,
and
yes.
we're excited about the new album on the way. How much more? What's the vibe for the rest of the album? Are we getting more power? Are we getting a little bit vulnerable?
Yeah, so I would say there's a lot of vulnerable in this album. It's like, man, when I first started the press cycle for this, it was like, oh, I was like crying in my interviews. It was so bad. I was like, why can't I talk about this? This is awful. Oh my God. But there's a lot of sassiness also in this record. There's also a lot of anger, like intense rage. That I don't know how people are going to talk about me after certain songs come out, because they're just they're really angry. But the point is that they're not glorifying the anger, they're being honest about the anger. So I've done a couple angry songs in the past. They're usually pretty well received, but as you grow as an artist, you become more polarizing. People are quicker to believe the worst of you. They don't really see you as human. So I
Mm.
understand there are going to be some people committed to misunderstanding me. And that's okay. I don't, it's just not for them, this music. But I think the album is really, really intense. Like, there's really not a place where you don't feel something super intense and emotional, whether it's on one side of the spectrum or the other. So I think it's an incredible album. I think it's one of the best I've ever done.
What I mean, the anger, is it from the challenges you faced in the industry before? Is the anger from, I mean, you've been through a lot. You doing a kidney transplant in the middle of COVID, like my God, that's enough for to send anybody mental, literally,
Yeah,
to send
yeah.
anybody into a depression. So that anger, is it coming from those things or where's it coming from?
Definitely the first song on the record is called "True Enemy," and it's like, you could think there's so many layers to that song that it could be about there's probably like five things it's about.
Mm.
But mostly it centers on betrayal and when friends are now openly enemies, you know, when all of a
Oh,
sudden you see each other for who you are and you're like, oh wait, you actually say you hate me now. And it's like, you know, guns out. It's like, all right, so what are we then? Like, are we cool or are we not? So it's just a lot of lost friendships. It's about people that you find out were actually not your friend the whole time or maybe secretly your enemy. It's about narcissism and, you know, like just controlling, like just against that, like people controlling others, you know, or just being hated for who you are, you know, in this polarizing world of social issues where every group of people is turning on each other. It's just, you know, it's just like let's just realize that these threats are becoming crazy at this point. And you know, if you're gonna say you hate people, like here we are, let's go. Okay, I'm right
yeah.
here. What are you gonna do? You know, tell me, do something right now, because I'm not gonna play this fake game with you. And unfortunately, it's sometimes better to just expose your enemy or expose that you are their enemy before, you know, deception continues in this friendship. You know,
Mm.
and so it's also about the state of the world. It's about war. It's about uh, war with God. You know, like why do you want to make God your enemy? I don't know why. That's the scariest dude you could ever go against. I'm just being honest. You know, but there's so many layers of wrath. It's really about wrath, and it's about let's just stop pretending and this fake game. You know, I just can't stand liars. I can't. So I don't know. There's that. There's just so much to it. I don't know. It would take all night to talk about, but I'm excited to see how it's received. I definitely don't want to condone rage. It's just that, you know, there's like one line in that whole thing that basically tells you what it's about. And it says, rage always kept me alive, taught me how to survive, but am I really dead inside? So the whole song is just like, hey, you can be rageful and that, you know, you could fight and live another day, but, you know, is it really healing your heart? No. You know,
No,
so it's a lot. It's so much to it
it's
that I can't wait to hear what people say.
I'm interested to hear that too because to me, anytime I felt like super pissed or super angry, I and I stay in that space for too long, I can tell that I'm getting irritable with the rest of the world over the dumbest things. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, oh no, you've been triggered. Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
like you literally have become a wounded animal at that point.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in the sense that you're so reactive to every surrounding, not just what is deserving of your
Yeah.
anger and what is deserving of those reactions. I know that you keep that, a lot of that in check, I would imagine, with your faith. What does your
Mm-hmm.
faith mean to you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. My faith has really changed me as a person for the better. There are times in my life where I kind of slipped back or slipped away and really felt the effects of it. Really felt like this is not where I feel peace.
Mhm.
And a lot of this record is about that, is just kind of slipping away into anger, deciding to harden your heart against people, against things, because you're just so tired of the abuse, or you're just so tired of the violations, and just the control.
Mhm.
And so this whole record is just about dealing with the honesty of that there's only so much you can take until you just turn crazy, and it, you know, like you said, a wounded animal, until you start to hurt yourself.
Mhm.
um and this album is really split into heaven and hell, because in the beginning you're walking through hell for quite some time until you realize this sucks. And forgiveness is the better choice. It really is, because you'll die here too, and you're dying, and
Mhm.
this is just no way to live. So for my faith, it's like, as much as I have maybe you know, been hurt or tried to question it, or, you know, stab at it a little, see what it's made of, you know, in the end, I know that truth is not always the loudest voice. And
Certainly not.
yeah, it's not, it doesn't always make sense. It's like your mother coming and telling you, darling, this is hurting you. Like, you know, she doesn't even have to scream. She just gets to your heart, you know?
Mhm.
And I believe that God is sometimes a soft, quiet voice, because the rage is so loud, you know? Yeah, as for my faith, it's just always recorrected me every time I kind of slip into the life experiences that are just too overwhelming. I definitely just kind of rely on the Word of God. I read it a lot,
Hmm.
and it helps me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Nestor, when I spoke with your husband Patrick too, I mean, he obviously hinted at the same things. His faith is just as important to him in his life. Is that something that came up quickly in your initial love story? Was that something like you were looking for in a partner?
Yeah, absolutely. My husband actually was an atheist for a long time,
Mhm.
and when he gave his life to God, I hadn't met him yet, but he had joined a Christian band, and he was really trying to do things better. He was trying not to be a womanizer anymore, and trying to find a girl that, loved God too. He had plenty of experience in the world. Sorry, I'm just turning on my fan. It's a little hot.
Yeah.
But he had joined a band. He was trying to be better. He was trying to date with intention of being with that person and stuff. And he that's obviously what I was looking for too. But I struggled because, to be honest, I like bad boys a little bit too.
It's
So
hard.
it was just
Girl, listen, I married the class stoner. I get it. I did, of my high school, of our grade. It happens.
I
Dad
love it.
was not pleased. Not pleased.
You
But
know
he still walked me
what?
down that aisle when it was time. Because
Yeah, you can't stop the love. You
you
can't.
can't. You can't because there's something, and you know what's funny is, and I think when I saw you and Nesm together talking with Head in the announcement for both of you, and both of you signing a crossover, you guys kind of said like, look, this was almost instinctual. I can't describe a love story, and so many people ask this question, like, how did you know? Particularly anybody that's single, they go, how did you know? How did you know that was your person? I can't answer it either. Like
Yeah.
you two couldn't. You just, it's just something that happens.
Yeah.
You're plugged into that person, and I don't know if it's physiological, chemical, emotional, all the above, but you look at that person and you go, huh.
Yeah. Yeah. For me,
And
it
you've
was
never
like,
seen it.
yeah, I just knew like there was like five main things I wanted. I wanted him to be like 3 years older at least, because I dated guys that were
Oh,
like 2 years, 1 year older than me. Still not ready. They just weren't ready. And
okay.
then I wanted him to be really funny and good with kids, and either a drummer or a guitarist, and I got both. And he's a singer too, no. And there was just something about him that the first time I like hugged him, there was like a little spark there, And
Right.
you were just like, I feel guilty. Why did I feel that? But he felt it too. And it's just fate. It's just destiny, I guess. I don't know. I mean, God knows marriage is still really, really hard, but you
Every
have to
day.
love that person so much. And you do. That's the only way you make it, is intense,
Mhm.
intense love and that bond for them. So, yeah. And I wasn't even wanting to meet anybody yet. I was trying to be single for like a whole year because I like speed dated through like three other dudes, and it just was, they didn't, I was tired.
We're tired. We don't have time for these men. We don't have time for
I
these men playing
was like, I'm gonna be
around.
single a whole year to get away from these people. And then I met Pat 6 months into that year, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
geez.
I can't pass this up.
That's the thing too. It's like there is something to that. When you know, you just know.
Yeah,
And
it's lovely.
I can't, I can't imagine, and I'm sure you feel the same way with yours. I can't imagine being with anybody else but him. And
Hmm.
there's a special person, or let me put it this way, they've got to be special for you to be willing to do all the things that marriage requires.
Yeah.
Constant communication, the prioritization of, hey, are they good? Are they comfortable? Are they happy? Great. Let me move on to everything else. Like it's prioritizing and it's constant communication. I don't know. I've been married 11 years, and we've been,
Congrats.
yeah, thanks. And we've been together since we were 17.
Oh,
Quite literally. So
sweet.
we're coming up on like almost 20 years together.
It's
Like
amazing. And I'm sure you guys have become new people over and over again, but with each
it's
other.
weird, and in some ways it feels like we grew up together. I don't know
Uh
if
huh.
you and your husband had that, but in some ways it feels like we grew up together. All of our first things, our first time leaving the house, our first cars, our first jobs, our first, like
Oh,
all those big experiences we
yeah.
had together.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's another
Pat and I
world.
didn't have that. We actually met each other within a year, got engaged, and then another year got married, and it was pretty quick.
Hey,
But
when you know, you
I
know.
definitely got to love him. And dude, I don't know, it's a decision every day. Like you're just gonna
Yes.
commit to that person anyway. So just the faster you get on with it, the faster you two become one. Stop being selfish. The better things will go quicker. So Yeah,
Do you
it is what
think
it is.
exactly, and you take each day as it comes. Do you
Yeah.
think that are there challenges to okay, you're signed to the same label as separate artists. Is there any challenges with that when it comes to, you guys in your relationship? Or maybe that's something that bonds the two of you.
It definitely does bond us. I think we both understand how hard it is to do this. I mean,
Hmm.
this business is not for the weak of heart, especially touring can get really, really stressful. There's so many logistics, things you have to be on time for. A lot of
Mm,
just like emergency accidents or traffic, and then you could miss your sound check. Like it could get crazy. You get in an accident, you could, people could get their limbs cut off in accidents. You just like got to be ready for anything. Stuff getting stolen, losing stuff, just crazy stuff.
mhm.
But in a lot of ways, it can be stressful too. Pat and I are definitely working on our communication on tour. We are
Mm,
kind of realize we have to offload some responsibilities because it's just too much for two people. So we are building a really, really solid crew around us that's going to do double duty. And we're just it's just a business. It's like you have to figure out your needs as a business
yeah.
and the personnel you need. And so I wouldn't do it with anybody else except a husband because in a band you're kind of married to everybody, so you gotta,
Kind of.
at least I get to actually be married to somebody in the band, and yeah, so I enjoy it. I think it's great. There's still a lot of learning curves. You have to treat that person as a coworker and not just as a spouse sometimes. And yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. But like I said, I would much rather have someone who knew it than didn't.
Yeah, it helps. I can understand that. So is home Texas still? I think you're
Yeah,
from Texas. Okay.
yeah. We live in Houston area, and I've lived in Dallas and San Antonio, but we love Texas. It's great.
So when you're doing everything for crossover, when you're doing your music video shoots like for Defiler, all that, we're going to California, we're going to Nashville, or can you
Yeah,
do it at
so
home?
the Defiler shoot happened in two cities. It happened in Nashville and Dallas. Yeah,
Okay.
so we did them in two different shoots.
Fun. How much of what you do can be done remotely?
A lot. I have sent over like just vocal parts to my producer in Nashville. I prefer to use his mic and stuff, but I mean he can tweak it. It's no problem.
Mhm.
And then mostly everything like my videographer lives in Dallas, so I really really like that. Makes the studio locations way cheaper than Nashville. And that's just a 3 hour drive up for me, really. So
Mm,
and Nashville's like just I mean, but I have gone to Nashville for like the in person shoot with Brian, the sit down. We're probably gonna do an album release party in the summer too. We'll see what happens.
yes.
But Head's gonna be on tour in Latin America, so we'll see if he even gets to go. We'll see. But yeah, we definitely do the trips, and then we just got back from Los Angeles with Octane, and that was amazing too.
I know. I saw the Jose Mangin. That's huge.
Yeah, it was really surprising. We got the call like 2 weeks before, and like the whole week before, we were just planning, getting the
Mm.
flights. It was really last minute. It was kind of stressful, but we made it. My husband got me there on time and everything. We had a cool little vacation there. It was really fun. Got to hang out with Jose too, before, after, and during the interview, and he just kind of showed us around town. So it was great. It's like VIP
Oh,
treatment. It was awesome.
yeah, that's got to be good. That's networking, that's exploring new cities, new things to talk about, new things to use when you build those relationships too. Like that's part of one of my favorite things when it comes to travel. Is like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, now I have a few more things I can clock to use as like relationship building or topic starters, things like
Dude,
that.
yeah, I was just like crazed when they asked us to come out to LA. I mean, like I had definitely done a lot of stuff in Nashville and Tennessee, but LA, that's like it's like a
Another world.
bigger ocean.
Another world.
Yeah, it's another world. But man, I realized why people move there. I mean, the weather was just insane. I felt like I was in Mexico. Like literally, our little hotel was like on Ventura Boulevard, and I'm seeing the same tree that grows outside my grandma's house, and the smells and everything, and like the
Oh,
mountains. I'm like, I'm home, man. What's
I'm
going on here?
I
What
feel it in
do
my
I need to
blood.
come here?
I know. I feel it in my blood. That's how I feel when I'm in New York or back home in Pittsburgh. Like I live in Minnesota now. Pittsburgh is my hometown.
Yeah,
Lo-
yeah.
So many Irish Americans and Italian Americans, which is
Oh
this little meatball
yes.
here. So I
Pat loves Pittsburgh. Yeah, he loves it.
it's so good. It's so good. I think we did talk a little bit about that. But I spent like 2 months in LA for an internship, and
Mm.
I got to stay at USC's dorm while I was doing it. And this was a culture shock to me. I had never been around such a huge like Latin population, a Hispanic population.
Oh
Never.
yeah.
In Pittsburgh,
Uh-huh.
we don't have it.
Right.
Minnesota, certainly not. Like
Yes.
neither place. Like it's just not there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so this is the first time I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I need to brush up on my Spanish. And
Uh-huh.
this poor cashier is like looking at me and she's like talking to me in Spanish and I'm like, you need to pull out every little bit of like 12th grade Spanish that you know to like make
Yes.
the effort. I'm like, just try, girl. Just
Yeah.
say un poco español. That's what I said. Un
And
poco.
did you get it? Were you
I
able to
did.
talk?
I said a
Yes.
little bit. I said un poco español, and I think I said something like quanto dinero, like how much to pay
Yeah, yeah.
is what I was trying to ask her. And she looked at me. She's like, "Girl, we can do this in English." And I'm like, "Well, now you tell me." Like I'm trying. Like I get that I'm the fish out of water in this scenario. Like I'm trying, but it's funny and it's so crazy to me that so many different regions, just even within our own country, are that
Yeah.
diverse.
Yeah.
Like, and you
Yeah.
never get that if you don't leave. You don't if you
Yeah,
don't
I
leave your
mean
hometown.
Texas. I mean, we have a lot of Hispanic folks here. I mean, I lived in Ohio for 10 years, and exactly what you're saying, there was
So it's
no Hispanics
close.
there.
It's
Yeah,
Ohio's a lot like
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
yeah. I remember it was like no, my teachers didn't even believe I was Mexican. I know I'm a lighter
And
skinned one, okay, but I'm not from New Mexico. I'm from the Mexico. Okay, so it was just funny stories, man.
it's so funny. So stories from the new album. We're excited. Did anything funny happen? Did anything crazy happen? Any stories from the new album?
Oh man, there was a lot of uphill battles for this album. Man, we had to like do the mix like 4 times. That's why it took
Mm.
so long. Like we were trying to find like a guitar tone that was just not what you always hear every day in, metalcore. Like we were trying to find a really unique blend of like crunchy, loud, but like
Yeah.
feminine beauty, I guess, behind it. Like they could work well, and that mix took like 6 months longer than we thought to get it right. I'm glad we took the time though. There was so much traffic for news the last year anyway, and I'm
Mm.
glad it just kind of bumped to this year. And I feel like a lot of the stuff on this album is like really relevant for like stuff going on right now. It's really trippy. I did not
Listen,
plan that.
Minnesota, we get
Yeah,
it.
it's just crazy. Like, oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah. As for funny stuff, dude, I mean, I don't know. It was funny. There was so many obstacles. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
The absurd is funny.
It was really stressful sometimes, but I'm so happy that we're through it and now everything's like ready. And it just, yeah, it takes time.
Yeah. Do we have a date for it yet? Do we have title or that's
I've
all to
been
come?
told it's coming out in June. The reason being that it
Okay.
keeps getting pushed is because Defiler is doing so well at radio right now, and like the more
Congratulations.
it's a great problem to have. So,
Yes.
I've it was like going to be April, now then May, then June. Now is the word. But the more that we kind of space it out, because we don't want to kill all that momentum. So
Mhm.
we just sort of like dump another song. It's like, oh, we just put out a music video. So we're taking our time milking it. I mean, it's an incredible song, and there's going to be so much good stuff coming up. But until it starts dying down at radio, then I can't really do anything for you guys. Yeah, I
We
can't
just got to
do
be
much.
patient. We got to be
Sorry,
patient
this
and
stuff has to take.
I know.
The cycle has to happen. I mean, I think for me, I mean, once everybody knows the album title, when I can release that, I mean, they're
Mhm.
gonna understand the weight of this album and how it really is like. You don't get this shot every day as an artist. So it's going to be a really defining album for me to see what it does, how far it gets. And I really hope it does really break down the walls and do something. Brian wants to bring up new artists, new blood, and like you got Octane loving it. So I hope that we can break down that gate and kind of get to a new level here and get Zahna to a much wider audience.
No, this sounds like it's giving authenticity, it's giving vulnerability. We're excited. I can't wait. Thank you so
Yes.
much for hanging out with me, Zana. I
You're
cannot
so
wait.
welcome. I had a blast. Thank you so much, Val.